In this part we will talk about the incomes itself, incomes collection. So what does income mean? So income means that whatever the cash get, whatever the cash was paid to the company. Okay, so who will pay the cash and from what is the source of the cash? Okay, so if we remember, we are renting our houses. The admin or the company's owner is what they are doing is basically they're renting their houses, and for each of the rent in each of the houses they are getting some rents per month. Based on the rents they are getting per month, they are getting some rent charges, which is the amount itself. And the tenant for on each month the tenant needs to pay that amount. Okay, so to add an income, to understand this law we need to understand some other things as well. Okay, so let's say I go to the leases. Okay, just to simplify the whole process, let's take a lease that is currently active. Okay, what is this lease? This lease is 0 CV. Okay, so I'll just take this bill, and that's it. I think we are good to go. So over here I have 3 rents and 9 leisures. Okay, so that means per month in this given time period the user needs to pay um, 3 charges per month. So this first month is, sorry, first month. So on the first month they need to pay this, second month the third, and the third month they need to pay the last 3, something like that. So if I go over here and if I filter it, so I don't think filtering over here works like this. So we'll scroll, type a query field. Okay, these, I think this is this, I think we have to go. Not sure. I never use Mongo's MongoDB's. Maybe, okay. Type a query, field is ineffective. Okay, field is this. Okay, it's the object ID. Okay, like this, I guess. What data we need? I think we need the leases over here. Just take this lease, whatever the lease was active. So I think this lease we need. So leisures we go, and then we use the queries, and then lease object ID is this. Okay, so if I hit save, the lease I'm getting for that specific month, right? For that specific lease I'm getting all the leisures. So on 95 24 95 2497 2410.5 2410.7, and then 2411.5 2411.7, and I think after 2412.5 2412.7, I think after that we renewed the lease in the previous video. So 242513 we get on the lease. I think similarly that's basically that, as we added one renter, so that's why there is only one leisure, something like that. I think we also added renewed lease rent, renewed lease rent, something. So okay, so what is the connection with it? Okay, over here you can see the amount is 6 and the balance is 350, and also it says that it wasn't paid. Okay, and it also includes an incomes array, which is the reference to this collection, and over here I have the other references to each of the collections as well. So to pay an amount, the user, the tenant, obviously a tenant who will be able to pay those. Okay, so for a tenant to pay those, I think we have to log in with the tenant credential. Okay, so I don't think we have, maybe we have an active tenant of tenant 2, something like that. Yeah, we have an active tenant of 2. I don't think we have tenant 3, not sure. Okay, we have a tenant 3 as well. Maybe it's because of the future lease that we currently have. Yeah, tenant 1 we also have. So I'm not sure, so let's just check it out. Let's go to the users collection, and then what I'll do is check tenant. I have tenant 1 email, tenant 2 email, tenant 3 email. I don't think which leases are currently active. Just need to check. So over here I come and I'll just check which lease is currently active. So over here I see that this is 0 CV is active. So I'll go to the users collection and then check this is currently occupied and the lease is 0 CV, so the tenant is 0 C6. So on the user collection it's 0 C6, 0 C6. Okay, so I think we got the user, that's that, tenant2@gmail.com, that's the current user that is currently active, so not an issue. So what I will do is basically tenant2@gmail.com, and I'll basically authorize it. So just first we do that, and we are then good to go. Okay, so after that we do that, we will come back to the incomes. Now on the body it's pretty much similar as the expense itself, so 25.9, so I think we'll use 9, and we will say into month is amount is whatever the amount. So I think we'll go with, let's go with 1050. No, my graphics card is 660 super, so 660. Okay, let's go with 660. So okay, notes is there, we have the card number, expiration, CVV, and the lease itself, that where we want to pay. So what are these fees? So as I've stated that I have used a payment gateway named as CardNox, so I'll just log into these CardNox payment gateway, and we will see that what user we have created. So okay, and now if I come back to the leases over here, you will see that active. So this is the lease, and you can see the customer ID is 5074. So over here if I go to the customers, you can see it says tenant2 with the name itself, tenant2. So that's basically it. So tenant2 is for this specific, so we will use the transaction history to see what the tenant has paid for this. Okay, so currently the tenant doesn't have any transaction in 30 days, something like that. So we will use this add income to pay our this add income API reverts to a company, so that means it's a company's income. From a tenant's perspective, is basically pay income, pay ledger, or pay charge, something like that. So no worries, no issues. So we will use a demo card, expiration, and CVV, and then we need the lease itself. So we will just copy out, we'll just use it like this, no worries. We have this, and then we will use this. Okay, now if I click on this, what happens? A long process will happen. So if I just go to the leases, before that, before anything happens, I just want to show you one thing. So okay, so before that you can see the 95 is balance is 100, so none of these charges are paid. So now what I will do is I will pay our rent with this. So if I click on this, what happens is basically, if I click on this, it will obviously take some moment as it's connected to the third-party APIs like CardNox, so their APIs take some moment, and you can see that I have some data going on over here. So the first thing is month, year, payment day is this, description, blah blah, and the ledgers. I get some ledgers array, and I got a CardNox reference saying that the reference was this, the transaction reference, it was success, payment gateway reference number, the gateway status is approved, and I haven't got any errors in this. And whoever added this, the lease ID 0CV, that where we added the unit, the property company ID, we are not using any GCP, so the receipt is empty, we haven't uploaded anything, created applet, and the version is over there. So now if I copy this, okay, just simply bear with me over there, just take some time. Okay, I refresh the DB fully, so no worries. So if I refresh the page, now what you will see, if I just okay, just if I just click on this and hit apply, now you can see previously the balance was 100, now it becomes 0, and then you can see that there is an income reference to it. Okay, after that the balance 350 is also 0, and the incomes, there is an income, the similar income E94, E94 is also over there. So 100 was also paid, 350 was also paid, 100 was also paid, 350 was also paid, 100 was also paid, 350 after 100 was also paid. And now you can see for 350 140 was only paid, and over here you can see the balance is 0 and is paid is set to true, and the balance is not 0, there is some balance left, and the is paid is set to false because it wasn't fully paid and there is an income to it. Yeah, and yeah, that's basically it. Now on the incomes collection, if we go over there, what we will see is basically the month, the year, the payment day, the description, the notes, and the ledgers, the associated ledgers, whatever the ledgers what was paid or partially paid are over there. So we can see all the reference IDs of it. We have the Cardnox reference where we can get that, retrieve the data from Cardnox. I'll show you in a minute the reference of the Cardnox added by Liz and the similar things going on. Now what I will show you is basically some interesting data from Cardnox itself. So over here, if we go over here, so if I just hit the DB over here, you will see I think it was 10 and 2. For 10 and 2 we already paid the 10 and 2. Yeah, we are already in the same page, 10 and 2. If we go to the transaction history, so I think there will be approved data. We already paid 1660, right? And the payment is there, card is there, on which date it was paid, and etc. And we can similarly, if we go to the transactions, now we can retrieve the data using the reference number of the transaction that we have stored in our DB. So you can see over there we have already got the card numbers and etc, all the informations that we need. So as Stripe isn't fully available in Bangladesh, so I've used Cardnox as a default payment gateway, which is very easy to implement, nothing much going on over there. So that's basically it. So yeah, that's it. Now what I want to show you is basically some case handlings. Like you can see, if I go to the incomes area, these ledgers, if I go to the ledgers array and then hit apply, so basically that was the reference. So over here 650, 670 is still left, 140 is still left, so it's basically 647, it's 770, it's basically 110, right? That's basically it. So what happens if I try to pay 820 instead of 810, something like that? So what happens? So if I go and see, basically on the front end there will be APIs to detect the remaining balance and etc, but not an issue. So I'll just say 850, let's say, just for to be on the safe side, let's say it's 770, it's 40, obviously, so 210, 815, and I hit I'll just change the dates to make it 13, income 2, blah blah notes, let's say yes, something like that. Okay, and I hit this. So obviously it will say given amount should be less than or equal to the remaining ledger balance. So what does it do in the code itself? It calculates the expenses. I'll show you in a minute. Just bear with me over just for now. So even if I try to pay 110.0.1, I don't think it will work. Obviously it won't work. Given amount should be less than or equal to the remaining balance. Now if I click on this, what happens? It will obviously create, as you can see it's taking some time, that means it was added. So now it got added. So I think we only had two layers left, two charges left, 140 and 670. Obviously now we can see that on the ledgers we have two ledgers, Cardnox reference is there, blah blah is over there. And if I hit my database again, so what you will see is basically, if I hit my DB, so over here you can see this has been already paid. So that's basically it. Now it had some previous, this income partially paid this, and the remaining balance was paid by this income, and only the new income was fully paid for this. That's basically that. So only two ledgers was associated to the latest income. So latest income has this gas, and two ledgers Cardnox reference is over there. So how I'm currently doing that, so I'll just show you an example. So yeah, so to add an income, what I'm doing is basically I'm parsing out, I'm restructuring my payload, and I'm validating the date. That's basically it. And the session is very important over here, as we are getting lots of fields. So now what we will do is basically I will first flow the amount, because we want this in a decimal pointer, something 2-digit decimal point. So that's that, nothing much. Now the aggregate. So in the aggregation, I'm doing my aggregation on the ledger model itself. I'm checking with the lease ID, given lease ID, company name, company, and obviously the ledger should not be paid. We can't pay for an already paid charge, something like that. So we can't do that. So that's that. Now for the leases, I'm getting the lease. Now what I'm doing is, we can't pay a charge for a lease that has been closed. We can't do that, right? And also a lease that is already in the future, we can't pay, right? So similarly it has to be false. And the lease tenant, obviously the tenant is paying, so the tenant should be associated with the lease itself. So I'm checking the user ID, if it matches, I'm unwinding it, basically flattening the array that we get from the DB, and basically, and after that we get the associated unit, we get the associated property, we are unwinding it, and then I'm grouping the full stage. I'm grouping I'm grouping all the data. How I'm grouping it? I'm grouping it by lease ID. Okay, I'm getting the, as I'm grouping it, so definitely we need to use first operator to get my data, like lease card knox, company, property, unit, and for the ledgers, whatever the ledgers I got, I will just push this into an array named as ledgers. I'm pushing this, I'm using push operator to push my IDs, amount, balance is paid, etc. And also I'm getting total ledger balance, which is the sum of the balance. Simple as that, nothing crazy going on. And I'm just projecting the group stage, that's it. And after that I'm checking amount is total. If the amount is greater than total ledger balance, that means it has to throw an error. And after that, updated ledgers we are using. Why we are using, I'll just give a description in a moment. But after that, the ledgers we get here, the total amount is the amount itself, as we need this amount, so we are storing this amount in another field. So what we are doing is basically, after storing this, if the amount becomes 0, that means the loop has to break. The ledger balance is the ledger balance, storing this in a constant value variable. And after this, we are checking if the ledger balance is greater than 0 or not. Instead, we could have used ledger is paid true or false. If it's false, then we will just enter this condition. So what does it do is basically, between ledger balance and total amount, it takes the minimum. Okay, and the minimum, this much, will be reduced from the ledger balance itself. So that's the simple math that we are currently doing. So the ledger is there, the balance, what we are doing is, from the ledger balance we are reducing the minimum of ledger balance or total amount, that's it. And we are fixed to 2, basically making it a decimal pointer to 2. And this paid is, if the subtraction is 0, that means its ledger is true, is paid is true, else the list, whatever it is, if it's true or false, obviously it will be false. So just to be on the safe side, I'm using ledger is paid. That's that. And the total amount, what's the total amount? From the total amount, I need to decrease the adjust balances, the minimum of ledger balance and total amount. And if the total balance, if by subtracting the adjustment balance from total amount, if it goes to negative, that means it can't goes to negative, right? It can't go to negative. So that either it can be positive or it can be 0. If it goes to negative, so we will set this as true. And after that, on the next iteration, if it becomes 0, obviously it becomes 0, so it becomes 0, it becomes 0. Simple as that. That's that. Now what I'm doing is basically I'm using Cardnox payment gateway. I will explain in the next video how the payment gateway works. Just to be on the safe side, I'm using new income ID, and then after the payment was made, I get some response, and I'm using a bulk operation. So what does a bulk operation mean? So bulk operation means to update lots of data in the single collection without doing many transactions or etc. Instead we can use a bulk operation. So the pros of, what are the pros of bulk operation? So the pros of bulk operation is, we can update lots of fields, and we don't even need to specify we don't need to update a single field. It's not it's not there for to use single fields. For example, instead we could have used update many. So but what update many does is basically it updates all the fields, right? That specific fields for each of the each of the objects, it updates those fields. But for bulk operations, it updates specific fields for specific data. It's that easy to implement. So what I'm doing is basically update ledgers. I'm mapping through the ledger, and for update one, I'm saying that filter is this, update is this, balance is should be this, is paid to set to true, and I'm pushing the new income inside of these ledgers. Even though I could have used the update many just to show that bulk operation can also be implemented in more broader approach. So that's why I've used bulk operation, just bulk, right? Nothing much going on. Also I'm using session, so obviously I need to put out session. I'm adding the income, save data, property model. Obviously we need to update the unit model, we need to update that, and income was added to a unit, and income, obviously that income is also associated to a property. So that's that, and that's basically it.